Finally, the Shreveport Connection has come back to post another video for your viewing entertainment. And it's going to be about WWE Smackdown, Superstars, and NXT results. But first, as usual, your WWE news for this week. Or for the day, since I posted most of it yesterday. Alright, and here we go. Arda Ocal and Jimmy Cordeas at Aftermath Radio on the score.com and iTunes chat with the former WWE star and 10-time tag team champion Billy Gunn at Real Billy Gunn on Twitter. And the highlights are this. They talked about his wrestling career, what keeps his career going on at the independent level, including this weekend where he will appear for the CWIWrestling.com. And he's quoted by saying, "I still enjoy what I do. I love what I do because it's probably the one thing that I am really good at. It's hard to really give up. I still love seeing the people. I still love getting out in front of the people and performing. I still love seeing the fans. I still love what this business has to offer," unquote. And then how he was never a fan of pro wrestling growing up, and the business found him. Talking about the Harris brothers beating him up for 4 hours straight in the beginning of his training. Quote, "I never watched wrestling, kid. Never wanted to be a wrestler. Never wanted to get into the business. I just fell into the business, and then again, the tag team stuff that just fell in my lap. It was something that was so exciting to me," unquote. How far was he willing to go into the scenario as a performer with Billy and Chuck? Quote, "As far as I needed to, because it was my job. People look at the whole scenario different than I do. I look at it this way, it's my job. They came to me and Chuck said, 'We're going to go this direction.' I would have gone as far as it needed," unquote. Comparisons of him to the current WWE superstar Dolph Ziggler. Does he agree? Also on Dolph's in-ring skills and as a performer for WWE now, I think he's got great potential, and I think he's one of their best talents WWE has. A little bit longer, and he will be a big star. I think he is extremely talented," unquote. Well, Gunn also commented on the possibilities of a New Age Outlaws reunion in WWE. Being a singles competitor, his opinion on tag team wrestling today, and more. 30-minute plus interview is available at their website, Aftermath Radio. Just look for it on thescore.com. Find it somewhere on iTunes as well. Well, speaking of the New Age Outlaws are back with their latest edition of their hit internet reality show, The Pound, OUDK. This week, Road Dogg and Billy are in Nashville, Tennessee, working an independent event with Al Snow, Kid Cash, and others that make special appearances. Also, BG Road Dogg James begins his search to find a new tag team partner for Billy Gunn now that he's headed back to the WWE. Could Road Warrior Animal be that guy? Check out this week's video to find out. Note, after this week's show, there's only 2 more episodes left in the entire OUDK show. And for those that don't know what OUDK is, oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Well, check out NewAgeOutlaws.com for all the past episodes, and next Fridays at 12 a.m. Be sure to pre-order your copy of The Outlaws, new self-produced shoot DVD for only $10. Purchase can be made right off their website. Follow the show on Twitter at OUDK. .NET Reader sends in, attended the Raw, Gets Rock tapings in Boston on Monday night, sending the following notes about the show. He is also at Smackdown tapings as well tonight and posted the entire show by himself, as reported by two different sites. One site started off with a trio of reports. Halfway through the show, the sites both went on this Zach guy's Zach Zimmerman, double Z I call him. Okay, he said during the break when Dolph was in the ring, he introduced Cole and Johnny Ace. He spent the whole time brown nosing. He told Cole his white suit was slimming and had them both in stitches when he said, "You can't teach height, Johnny, and you got it, my man." Then Cole put on his sour face when the cameras rolled on. Half of the garden got into the Scalabrine chant for Sheamus. If you don't know, Google Brian Scalabrine. Joke of the Celtics, but beloved nonetheless. The crowd was also super into the Boots to Asses chant, while quite eager to head home and watch on DVR to see how we came all across all night with notable "We Want Ice Cream" chants for Punk, as well as Cena's lady parts during their exchange. Other than the Rock and Foley, pop of the night may well belong to JR and his dance moves. Great job participating on his part when he could have easily phoned it in. One major kudos with us in attendance for that. Bummed to see him pulled shortly after, but not as bummed as I'll be when I watch back and have to listen on DVR later on Michael Cole. Overall, thoroughly entertained 3 hours, minus the complete flub the Divas delivered. Okay, what happened after Raw? Rob said in this result, after Raw tonight in Boston, the dark match main event was Randy Orton, John Cena, and CM Punk defeating Mark Henry, The Miz, and R-Truth. Again, that was a false advertisement because nothing happened with the Zack Ryder. Whoa, hang on a second. Fans kept chanting for Zack Ryder, so CM Punk ran to the back after the match and brought Ryder supposedly back into the match. Well, the match was supposedly over. And .NET reader Mike Finhackos attended Raw tapings last night and sent in the following report as well. Dark match main event was John Cena, CM Punk, and Randy Orton versus Awesome Truth and Mark Henry. The crowd chanted for Zack Ryder, so CM Punk went to the back and brought out Ryder. After a couple of minutes, Ryder joined the team, and the babyfaces won. Good for Zack Ryder, who might be the first guy who ever earned a push because of social media. Penhakos also said the crowd was hot all night, which I thought came through on TV. To me, it still sounded like a mixture of the crowd actually cheering and piped in, taped stuff. Okay, here's another interview by Bobby Eaton, hosted by Dave LaGreca and Doug Morton. This is basically on Bobby Eaton's career and who his favorite wrestler or tag team partner was. Well, he said he didn't have an actual favorite. Busted Open can be heard Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Sirius 94 XM 208. Bobby Eaton on Jim Cornette, he was asked. Okay, well, first of all, he's my friend. I've known him since before he was wrestling. Of course, a lot of people say the same thing. They made him. He was taking pictures for the guys or whoever. Miss Christine Jarrett, his mom, was there on Tuesday nights in Louisville, Kentucky. Then he got Jerry Jarrett or someone, somebody in Jarrett family, I'm not sure which one it was, wanted to see him make a good manager. I guess the way he talks. Then they put us together to go to Louisiana. Bill Watts did. He came to Tennessee. Jimmy was managing somebody else. Dennis was a heel. And And I, for some reason, was a babyface. We weren't together, but Bill Watts must have seen something, and kind of, like I say, drafted us or whatever. He brought us down to his territory, which was not doing too good at the time, because now this is what I've been told. Because of too much walking and talking to the big guys, I don't know no names to say, but I know what they're saying. They want more action, but then again, nowadays, I think they may give them too much action for it in 10 minutes. Eating on the tag team partners? Well, okay, everybody asks me who I like best and who I like. Who was the first best partner ever? I can't say either one, but what I can say is what Dennis Condrey and I were together with Jim. We had more heat. We were more like bad guys. Of course, later on, it didn't matter. Don't matter if it was a heel or a babyface, because nowadays they still like you, whatever. Me and Dennis had more heat because of. Well, Dennis is more of a rugged guy too. I mean, Stan Lane brought the showmanship, which I needed to break it up a little bit. For me, let me get in and get my butt kicked. And he had to take his share of bumps too. But don't get me wrong, then he'd do his little cocky karate stuff. It was two different kinds of partners to me, obviously, but it was two different ways that matches could have went. I don't know how to explain it in any better than that. So I like them both, but I can't tell you who the best partner was because I really don't know. Ric Flair, he's quoted by commenting on Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. How can you have a bad match with Ric Flair? You know what I'm saying? I gotta say he's the best night after night. I say he's the best ambassador for our business. I think probably I gotta say Shawn Michaels might be the next guy. I really do, and that's no disrespect to Rick at all or anybody else. Shawn Michaels is back. I guess one time was almost broke, whatever the heck it was. Of course, Ric Flair's was too in a plane crash, but Ric Flair is my favorite, and I don't want to sound disrespectful to Shawn either. But Ric Flair to me is the best there was, the best ever was. He's the champ. He's my champ. I look up to him anyway, the things that he's done in the business, for the way he was brought in, grown up, and also that's not a gimmick with him. You know that's not a work, so that's a full-blown shoot. Ric Flair, that's who he is, no matter what. But Shawn Michaels, I've seen him, and I see his work. And there's a lot of good work. I've got to say that Shawn Michaels may do more different stuff. How about that? And he talks about the fun with the Dangerous Alliance. Quote, you know that you got that right, and I was so proud to be with them guys. I like it better when I was with them. It was so much fun. We had so many different ways we could go. Arn and I were a team for a while. And then I think Arn and Larry Zbyszko was a team for a while with the Dangerous Alliance. I like that gimmick. Unfortunately, it wasn't really doing good business and housing at the time. And that was most of what he had to say in that. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise! A returning to WWE, Kenny Dykstra worked a dark match at tonight's Smackdown taping in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He put over Justin Gabriel, who won the match. And that was your dark match. A match pitting Trent Beretta against Tyson Kidd was taped also tonight in Bridgeport, Connecticut for this week's episode of Superstars. The Zach guy that was reporting this, he got there late to the event, and he got there just as Justin Gabriel was getting the pinfall on Kenny Dykstra. So he didn't mention Dykstra's name at all. And it's unknown whether he actually signed a contract or a one-night only deal. Could be another tryout because he might have some ring rust. Well, Dykstra does do some indie Fed work. I haven't seen any, heard any news from him in the last 6 months since he was on that Cindy Margolis thing on TV. And John Cena is featured on the cover of Holiday 2011 issue of WWE Magazine. Well, correspondents Gregory H. and Alicia are in attendance for the first report from the WWE tapings in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Stay tuned for full result. Spoilers from the tapings as they were being reported. Justin Gabriel defeated the local wrestler. Again, like I said, that's reported from the Zach guy, Zach Zimmerman, double Z. And NXT airing tomorrow at noon. Well, yeah, still an hour left when I'm doing this taping. Percy Watson defeated Derek Bateman. JTG defeated Yoshitatsu. Titus O'Neil beat Tyler Rex. Darren Young was in Rex's corner while Percy was with Titus. They were sent to the back during the match, but Young came back out after the match and beat down Titus. Okay, now Zach Zimmerman and Jim are at the Smackdown tapings in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and pass along the following details of the Superstars tapings. Tyson Kidd defeated Trip Beretta. Kidd won with a really nice brainbuster in the only Superstars match for the Smackdown version. .NET readers Zach Zimmerman again and Jim were at the Smackdown tapings in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and are passing along the following updates on WWE NXT taping. A little bit more detailed than the previous one. Dark match, Justin Gabriel defeated former star Kenny Dykstra. I'll put that in. Zach arrived just in time to see the pinfall and did not catch the name of the opponent. And after the Smackdown tapings were posted, then I got the name for the unnamed superstar for the dark match. Okay, the detailed report for NXT was Percy Watson beat Derek Bateman. Bateman flashed a Tebow pose after the match. Very funny. And match number 2 wasn't much in it. It just says JTG defeated Yoshitatsu. No details in that match. Match number 3, they said Titus O'Neil defeated Tyler Rex. Percy Watson was in O'Neil's corner, and Rex was accompanied by Kurt Hawkins. Both sidekicks were ejected before Titus went on to win the match. After the match, Darren Young beat Titus down, and that concluded NXT. Okay, your first correspondents, Gregory N. and Alicia, are in attendance for tonight's WWE taping in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Alright, about halfway through this report, they actually go by Zach Zimmerman's report from a different website. The show opens with Mark Henry beating Daniel Bryan up backstage. He brings Bryan out to the ring and he hit him with some more beat down, including the World's Strongest Slam. Officials pulled Bryan out of the ring, and Henry talked about beating Big Show at Survivor Series. Vicky Guerrero, Miss Piggy, came out to announce that Dolph Ziggler will defend against Zack Ryder at Survivor Series and be in the 5-on-5 match as well. Dolph defeated Sin Cara next with help from Jack Swagger. Mason Ryan came out to help Cara. Mason versus Swagger was up next, and Mason wins. Backstage segment with Zack Ryder. Big Show and Justin Gabriel were involved in the segment as well. No details on what was happening in that segment. Ted DiBiase and Hornswoggle are playing the WWE 12 backstage. Teddy Long and Alexander come in, and there's not much to talk about in that segment. It's already said. Well, Christian came out wearing a neck brace, a boot on his foot, and using a crutch. Christian will be there to support Team Barrett at Survivor Series. Christian just wants one more match, as he was quoted. Well, AJ Lee and Big Show are checking in on Daniel Bryan in the back with trainers. Big Show is pissed and is ready for Mark Henry. Ted DiBiase Jr. beat Derek Bateman with Maxine. What? Derek Bateman is actually on Smackdown show. DiBiase won with a dream streak. And no, in case you were hoping for a music change, Ted still comes from money. Backstage, Show was looking for Henry. Jinder Mahal and Tyson Kidd said he wasn't around. Mahal said something in Punjabi. Show asked Kidd if he caught that. Kidd replied no, and Show knocked Jinder out. Kidd meekly walked away. Very funny. Big Show came to the ring in sweatpants. He cut a promo on Henry and said that after Henry forced Bryan to be carried out tonight, Show was going to force Henry to be carried out at Survivor Series. He then did a stupid little thing with his WMD fist and then chuckled like even he realized it was silly. Next up was Kofi Kingston pinning Hunico with SOS. Hunico cut a promo entirely in Spanish before the match. Jim felt that they had decent chemistry. Wish they would actually report on what they actually said. Ezekiel Jackson, Vignet aired. Seriously? How many times can they try this with this guy? Move on, please, writes Zach. Beth Phoenix and Natalya defeated AJ and Caitlyn. Natalya made AJ tap to the sharpshooter. Next up was Mark Henry versus Big Show with Booker T. A special referee was announced as the dark match. They showed the full Survivor Series lineup and only the 2 world title, the traditional tag, and the Rock and John Cena versus The Miz and R-Truth matches were shown. No sign of a U.S. title match yet. And the main event, Randy Orton made his entrance, followed by Sheamus. Then Wade Barrett, and finally Cody Rhodes. He just feels more major league than ever after losing his mask, writes Zach. The tag main event is next. Sheamus and Randy Orton defeated Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes by DQ. Christian came out in crutches during the match, which called for the DQ as he used it. He hit Sheamus with a crutch for the DQ. Sheamus hit the road kick on Cody afterwards, and Orton delivered RKO to Barrett. Sheamus hit Cody with a Celtic cross. Now for Zach Zimmerman's report and Jim. So I guess that's another combined one. The show started with Mark Henry assaulting Daniel Bryan backstage. He dragged Bryan to ringside and continued the attack. The ref rolled Bryan out of the ring, and then Henry cut a promo on delivering more pain to Big Show and retaining at Survivor Series. Well, here's more detail. They dragged the trampoline out. It was on the floor, which can mean only one thing, Sin Cara. Well, Dolph Ziggler defeated Sin Cara. Vicky Guerrero announced before the match that Dolph will be doing double duty at Survivor Series, as he will defend his U.S. title. Dolph won a good 5-minute match with a roll-up after Jack Swagger came out. After the match, Mason Ryan came out to even the sides. Ziggler bumped like only he can for Ryan, who should thank him backstage. Mason Ryan beat Jack Swagger. Ryan won with a full Nelson Slam. Expect to see a lot of replays of Ryan throwing Ziggler around. Backstage, Zack Ryder got Big Show and Justin Gabriel to sign his petition. He informed Big Show of what Henry said in the opening promo. Backstage, Ted DiBiase was playing the WWE 12 at Hornswoggle. Teddy Long came in and was soon followed by Oksana and her porno sax music. Teddy is falling in love, to sum it up. Christian came to the stage with a neck brace, boot, and crutch. He complained a lot and said he would be there to inspire Team Barrett at Survivor Series. He said that now, because of his injuries, his dream is just to have one more match. In general, funny. He got a lot of heat and then said good riddance and walked off stage. Jim felt it was uneventful promo. Well, again, Not much said from the Jim character. Backstage, AJ and Big Show were with Daniel Bryan in the trainer's room. Show was going after Henry now. Match number 3, Ted DiBiase beat Derek Bateman with Maxine. DiBiase won with a Dream Street. And no, in case you were hoping for a music change, Ted still came with the money music. Backstage, Show was looking for Henry. Jinder Mahal, Tyson Kidd, said he wasn't around. Mahal said something in pajama. Just asked Kidd if he caught that. Kidd replied, no. Show knocked Jinder out. Kidd meekly walked away. Funny. Like I said, the rest of this is very similar to the others, to the previous report, because they just copied and pasted. Show came to the ring in sweats. He cut a promo on Henry, and then after, Henry forced Bryan to be carried out tonight. Show's going to force Henry to be carried out in Survivor Series. He then did a stupid little thing with his WMD fist, and then chuckled like he realized it was silly. Match number 4, Kofi Kingston pinned Hunico with the SOS. Hunico cut a promo entirely in Spanish before the match, as Jim felt they had decent chemistry. Ezekiel Jackson Vignet. Seriously, how many times are they going to do this? Match number 5, Beth Phoenix and Natalya defeated AJ and Caitlyn. Beth made AJ tap to the pin-up stronghold. Mark Henry versus Big Show with Booker as special referee was announced as the dark match. They showed full Survivor Series lineup, only the 2 world titles, traditional tag, and the Rock and Cena versus Awesome Truth were shown. No sign of the U.S. title there, as it was announced earlier in the show. So is it official or unofficial? It looks like it's unofficial. Randy Orton made his entrance, followed by Sheamus, then Wade Barrett, and finally Cody Rhodes. He just feels more Major League than ever, losing the mask, according to Zach. The tag main event is next. Sheamus and Randy Orton defeated Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes by DQ. When Christian came out on crutches during the match, he hit Sheamus with a crutch for the DQ. Sheamus hit the road kick on Cody. Orton delivered RKO to Barrett. Sheamus hit Cody with a Celtic cross. In your dark match main event, Big Show beat Mark Henry by DQ. With Booker as special referee, Henry spent 90% of the match outside the ring getting heat. Every time he got back in, Show would take it to him and he'd slide back out. Show took a mic and told Henry to come get the knockout he had coming. They fought to ringside where Henry hit Show with a chair and Booker called for the DQ. Show would take Henry and rolled him inside the ring, killed him with a chair, and we all left with smiles on our faces. Show also performed the Spinneroni to wrap up the taping. And that ends your WWE week of entertainment. Thanks for viewing. And I'm still waiting on your Impact for next week's show. So if I can't find it in the next 15 minutes or so to record it in time to post it tonight, well, it'll be reported tomorrow when I do my video after getting off work at 10 a.m. in the morning. Guess I'm only working 4 hours tomorrow. And that's what happens when you work at Kohl's. They only work you part-time. Thanks for viewing. Always same Shreveport time, same Shreveport channel.